Hello and welcome to Chaos to Clarity, the podcast that's your compass to navigate the exciting world of service-based businesses. If you're a determined woman in your current business adventure, striving to conquer the chaos and build your empire, then you are in the right place. I'm your host, Maggie, your go-to business bestie and chaos navigator. I've spent nearly 2 decades in the service-based industry, building a photography business, a yoga studio, and now a thriving coaching practice. I've cracked the code to consistent income without all the chaos and noise. So get ready to increase your business growth, connect with your ideal clients, and find ease in both business and in life. It's time to turn your frustrations into inspiration and your chaos into clarity. So go ahead and grab your coffee, a pen and paper, and let's dive into the journey of building your dream service-based business together. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie. I'm your business bestie, your Chaos to Clarity coach, your lead gen specialist, and the host of this podcast. And welcome. I hope you are having an amazing day. So today is Monday, April 1st, as I am recording this. Now, normally I don't talk about the date, but today I have a special coming up on Wednesday. So today we're talking all about lead gen by design, and we're specifically talking about why I pushed the start date of the Mastermind back by a couple of weeks. Now, the Lead Gen by Design Mastermind was supposed to start last week, Wednesday. And as it was leading up to it, I was feeling really frazzled. I was feeling really frustrated. I was feeling all sorts of feels. And try as I might, despite how much I was trying to not be in my feels, I was still in my feels. So when it came to Wednesday, one of the participants reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm not going to be there. Today is not going to work. There's a lot of things happening in my personal life. This isn't going to work for me." And shortly after that, someone else said the same thing to me. And I was like, okay, universe, I see you. I see you. So I sent everyone who had signed up a message. And there were not as many signups as I wanted to have, right? So let's make that clear. I had wanted at least 10 people. And as of last week, Wednesday, there were only 2 people that signed up. And I was so thankful for those people who signed up. But I had wanted to run this group program with at least 10 people signed up. So I was already in my feels about not having enough, quote unquote, people signed up. So I reached out to them and I said, "Hey, okay, so this is what's happening. You've told me this. Would you be open to pushing the start date back a couple of weeks?" That would provide a couple of things. Number one, to the recipients, right, to the participants, I said, it will allow you to have a couple of weeks to let things in your personal life settle. You're not going to have to worry about showing up for a meeting if you're feeling frazzled. Now, I normally wouldn't do this kind of thing. I wouldn't normally push it back. But here's the thing. I was feeling frazzled. They were feeling frazzled. And at the end of the day, after that conversation with them, everyone agreed, yes, let's push it back a couple weeks. So this allows them to have a little bit more time to tap into the things that I had already given them access to. And it allows me to welcome in another 8 people, right? It allows me to grow the reach, to expand what I had done. Now, if you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know that the past couple of months, I have been very busy outside of my office, right? I also own a photography business, and I recently got brought on for a large photography project locally here, which took me out of my office, right? It took me out of my normal daily routine. And that in and of itself threw me for a loop that I was not prepared for, right? I am normally a busy person. I enjoy being busy, and not busy as in like I'm hustling, I'm working 30 hours a day, 8 days a week. No. I like bebopping around to different things throughout the day. right? I like having time to work on admin stuff, right? Employee mindset, employee things in my business. I like having CEO time in my business where I get to plan and dream big. I like having client time in my business where I get to edit photos, connect with clients, do coaching, all that stuff, right? Like, so I like having that variety, but the kind of busy that I was experiencing was a busy like I had had like 10 years ago as I was leaving corporate and I was making that transition out of the corporate life into solo entrepreneur life with multiple businesses. I was working a lot. I was really stressed. And I felt like I had no control over any of the situations that I was in, mainly because the corporate project that I have been working on, things keep getting extended, right? Dates keep getting, and it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. So things were just happening, and I was having to put other things on hold, and it felt chaotic. So as last week, Wednesday approached, I had that thought, right? Like, what if I pushed it back? And then I thought, no, 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 people have signed up. I'm just going to run it. I'm going to run it with whoever's in there. I don't care. And then when the day came and they both came to me and said, this is not working how I want it to, I knew that was a sign. I knew that was a sign. So that is the reason, one of the reasons why I pushed it back. It also felt really good in my body, right? I do a lot of like muscle testing and like, again, a lot of the lead gen by design incorporates your human design. So I checked my sacral, right? I'm a manifesting generator. And I've always, even before I ever knew anything about human design, my gut has always been one of those, like, I have gut feelings. And when things happen, my gut will be a uh-huh or uh-uh. And as it was leading up to the opening of that, my gut was kind of like, very resistant. I didn't want to work on it. Like every time I sat down to try and grow or do something, it just felt like I was in the mud, like I was going nowhere. And then that series of events happened. So I pushed it back, right? And this is not something that most entrepreneurs will admit to doing. Now, for the sake of transparency, I really don't mind talking about this stuff. Why? Because it's not a secret. Sometimes when you launch something, it doesn't go as planned. And this didn't go as planned, right? Now, could I have done things differently prior to this? Sure. Yeah, maybe. Would it have come out a different way? Sure. Yeah, maybe. But here's the thing. If I spend my time focused on what could have been or what I should have done or this, that, and the other thing, nothing's going to get done. I'm going to live in the land of yesterday and I don't want to be I don't want to be there, right? I want to be looking forward. I don't regret what I did or did not do leading up to this mastermind, mainly because there was so much going on, so many moving pieces in my life. I really didn't have a choice to, but to kind of navigate how I navigated. And quite honestly, I'm pretty proud of myself for how I've really navigated the last 2 months, right? Because there have been so many moving pieces within the business and also within my personal life, right? With kids and husbands who travel, right? Like, and babysitters and just like everything, right? There's a lot of moving pieces. And that's not to say there's not a lot of moving pieces in your life, because for every one of mine, you have one that is equal or maybe even greater than what I'm experiencing. So if you are in this season of, I want to launch, but I'm not sure, and I'm not sure, and I don't know, is it the right time? Is it the wrong time? Launch, right? Launch and find out. Find out as you're launching, which might not feel super great, but here's the thing, you're going to learn along the way. Now, launching something is not new to me, right? This is not anything that's new or rocket science. Right? Like I've been quote unquote launching programs similar to this probably since 2016. Okay. So for the last several years, since 2020, really, um, I have been, or especially late 2020, I have been running my coaching programs as one-on-one. And over the last 3 years, almost 4 years, I have felt the pull to want to do a group program. And a lot of that is because my yoga studio, when I ran yoga teacher training, when I ran that coaching, that was always group. Always. It was not ever one-on-one. There were always multiple people who signed up. So selling to a group feels much more natural to me than selling one-on-one. Now, I know. So many coaches will say, but one-on-one is the best way to scale your business. Yes, and so is group, right? So is group. I love speaking to a group. I love that kind of energy. I love being in that kind of room. And if you're into human design, I'm a 1/4 manifesting generator, okay? Love to learn, and then I love to talk to people about it in a group setting, right? So a 1/4 is the investigating opportunist. But I've also seen posts of other people who are very into human design. They have tons of programs, and they call a 1/4 line like the investigating mayor or the researcher mayor. That's it, the researcher mayor. I love that. I love knowing that the research and the things that I do to collect information and then to tell groups is like, that is just who I am. So anyway, okay, so that is why I pushed it back, right? Now, how did I reapproach advertising for this? Because here's the thing. A lot of people will launch and then it won't work and then they'll go cry about it. But they never follow back up with it. They never reapproach it. Now, I launched, didn't work the way I wanted it to. Did I cry about it? Yeah, I did. I had a pity party for myself, right? You have to feel your feelings. You can't just stuff them down and push them away. I let myself feel whenever I was going to feel about it. And then I journaled about it. I wrote down how I was feeling. And then I wrote down all of the garbage thoughts that were coming up, all of those intrusive thoughts that come up that are like, you can't do this. What do you think you're doing? Is anyone going to sign up? Why is no one looking at your stuff? I wrote those all down. And then I also answered myself, like, is no one looking? I went to my analytics on my Instagram and my Facebook, and I looked. Yeah, people are looking. People are actually commenting on my stuff on both platforms, and I was not answering, right? Which is part of my framework. So I was not following my own stuff. So as I was having my pity party, looked at that, I realized, okay, I have some places, I have some work that I can be doing. I have some areas that I can amplify so that I can grow this. So when all this happened last week, Wednesday, I immediately, again, I got to work, right? That happened. And I thought, here's a really cool chance. I have a really amazing chance to be able to grow this in a way that I have not ever taken the opportunity to do so before. So I looked at my calendar and I put on my calendar, and you'll know this if you follow me on social, if you're on my newsletter, you'll know that now this week, Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, April 3rd, I have a masterclass. The Lead Gen by Design Masterclass is happening on Wednesday, April 3rd at 1 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you sign up. The link is below. And if this is after April 3rd, go ahead and click the link below anyway, and you will see a replay. There'll be a replay there for you. You can get information. So what I did, I put that masterclass on the schedule, and then I immediately wrote out what I needed to do in order to get this into motion, right? In order to welcome more people in. What was I missing? Well, a lot of people didn't know that it was happening. The Lead Gen by Design Mastermind, the 8-week mastermind. People didn't know. Some people didn't see my post, blah, blah, blah. And yes, people were answering the posts that I was putting out. Yes, I was DMing people. But no, people weren't always messaging me back, and I wasn't following up with them. So I took that opportunity to put a masterclass on the schedule to talk specifically about Q&A, about Lead Gen by Design, about the mastermind, to drop some bomb tips to drop some really great tips on how you can start utilizing your human design for your lead generation right now today. And then that will also get people interested in the mastermind, in the 8 weeks that I am putting together. So I put that together. I put a wait list together. Now, I've never done a wait list before. So some of this, the tech side of this, I was a little nervous because once you get tech involved, things get a little crazy, right? I needed to make a waitlist page, which also meant I needed a bit of a workflow and an automation, right? Because I use a CRM, right? So I had to set those things up. And now typically those things take me a hot minute because I get lost in there. It's like going onto YouTube, you're looking for something specific, and then 3 hours later, you're watching giraffes on bikes, right? And you're like, what did I actually come here for? So I was having one of those moments. So I made a list. I made a list of what I was going to do. And then I stepped into action. I knew I had a finite amount of time. I didn't have a ton of time to put this into play. Now, as of last week, right, as of this morning, Monday, April 1, I sent one email on Friday and I posted in 3 places on Friday. I had 10 people sign up for the wait list already for something that's happening on Wednesday. People are interested. It might not have been the right time the last time. Maybe I could have put on a masterclass last time. But here's the thing. I didn't have time in my schedule, but I do right now. Right now, I have that time. So that, and I'm not going to lie, I spent the weekend wondering, like, oh, what if nobody signs up? I bet nobody read that email. I bet da-da-da-da-da, all the things. Literally all of the drama in my head. But people signed up. Okay, so my reapproach here, I took a whole new approach. So now in the next 3 days, and if you're hearing this after Wednesday, you'll be able to see what I did, right? You'll be able to see the posts on Instagram. You'll be able to see the posts on Facebook, how I re-engaged this campaign. So this is what I'm doing differently with these extra bonus weeks before we start up. Now, Lead Gen by Design, the mastermind, the 8-week mastermind is set to begin next week, April 10 on Wednesday. So with that in mind, okay, what was I going to do? I was going to host a masterclass. I was going to send out a series of emails and not get overly crazy, right? So leading up to this masterclass, I'm sending out 4 emails to my email list. Now, the people who opt into that wait list in my CRM are getting a special tag so that I can send them more information as I need to. Okay, and the people that are opening it are also getting a special tag, basically saying that they opened it so that I can send them emails. So I'm just utilizing the tools that I have to re-engage people into what I'm doing. Now, I'm also connecting with people on social media, right? I've been putting out more posts. I've been connecting in groups more, asking more detailed questions and value, right? Offering value where I can and when I can so that people start to realize and recognize, oh, she's an expert in this field. She knows what she's talking about. And not that they didn't know that before, but anyone who's new to me can see that and they'll go, oh, I'm interested. I'm curious. I want to know. I'm going to sign up. So as far as really utilizing what I've done in a more productive way, I also spoke out loud to a group of other entrepreneurs on a networking call last week, Friday, what the heck I was doing, right? So I was on a networking call and we were talking about Q2 goals and things that you wanted to do more of in Q2. And something that I was talking about was this masterclass, that I was going to host this masterclass, that I'm hosting this masterclass because I pushed back the date of the mastermind to allow more people to come into the funnel, to sign up, to opt in, to say yes. And that's not something that a lot of people will talk about. They might push back the date, but they might not say it out loud. You're watching me, if you are on my Instagram or Facebook and you watch my stories, you are actively watching me launch and relaunch, really, which I think is so cool. And that's something that I think is so cool about social media is that we get to keep relaunching when we want to. Now, I know some people might go, ew, launch, yuck. But here's the thing. Yeah, I don't really like lunch because it reminds me of lunch. And although I do love lunch, launch feels like this big, sometimes unattainable thing, right? Because I also think of rocket ship launching, and that sounds like a lot of freaking work. But as I sit back and I just kind of review like the action that I have taken so far, the actions that I'm planning to take. And I have a list of things that I am going to do in the next 3 days, right? I have a list of things that I will do in the next 7 days after that in order to stay connected, in order to keep people interested. That is the real, like, cool, amplified action that I was able to take. And I think as I'm reapproaching this, I feel so much more aligned and abundant with this. Now, you might also be asking, well, okay, there's 10 people signed up for the masterclass, but like, what if nobody buys? And that is definitely a thought that I've had. But with the lead gen by design system that I've created, most of the people who have watched and been a part of the classes that I've given, because I've given this masterclass before, but it didn't have the mastermind component behind it. There wasn't as much urgency for people to opt into it because it was too far in the future. And I didn't have enough of the assets built in order to really like kick this off in a way that felt productive and abundant. Now I do. Okay. And that's the biggest shift that I've made is I've created abundance for myself. I feel on top of the world knowing that 10 people signed up. And they're like, yeah, yes, I'm in. I'm curious. I want to know. How can I sign up for more? How can I sign up and learn more about this? And I think it's important to understand that you have the opportunity to do this all of the time. And that is something that I talk about in Lead Gen by Design in the master class, is how you can put this into action right now. So if you're a DIYer, you love to do things yourself, this masterclass is for you. I'm giving the information away for free. This is really nothing new under the sun that I'm talking about. It is a different way to approach it. And if I'm being humbly honest, I feel like it's a really amazing way to approach social media in a way that doesn't feel all consuming. Now, I know a lot of people will tell you, you need to post this many times a day, this many pieces of content, this. And I'm here to tell you that, yeah, you certainly can. You absolutely can. You don't have to. There is a way to do it better and a way to do it better for you. And this is where the human design piece comes in, right? You get to see like, so I'm a manifesting generator. So for me, yeah, it might feel good to put out 10 pieces of content per week because I operate on just a higher level. But if you're a projector, it might feel better to only put out a couple pieces of content per week and spend more time having more conversations, right? It might not feel good to go balls to the wall. So that's what this is going to help you do. It's going to help you figure out what feels sustainable for you, right? What feels simple and what feels joyful, what fills your cup, right? Because at the end of the day, social media is not the end all be all. Yes, you can use this for social media. Yes, you can use this for email marketing. Yes, you could probably use some of this for Pinterest. I can't say for sure because I've not ever tried it on Pinterest, but I would love to know if somebody out there listening is a Pinterest guru or loves to utilize Pinterest. I would be curious to know if this works. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing for Lead Gen by Design for the mastermind, right? To re-engage people, to get people excited. And I'm also going back to some conversations that I had with people and re-engaging those conversations. This is another thing that tends to get lost for people. We start having conversations and then we don't track them. We don't keep track of what's going on. And then those conversations are just lost to the abyss. And in that, losing that to the abyss, that could have been a sale. And I'm not saying chase after every single thing, but this is where it comes in handy to know what your you betcha clients are, your ideal clients, right? Knowing those ideal clients, knowing those you betcha clients that are like, yes, you betcha, I'm there, I'm signing up, right? These 10 people that are in for this masterclass, they are probably, and I've looked at everyone who's in there, they are my you betcha clients. They're the people that I'm like, oh my God, yes, I totally forgot. Why didn't I message that person? Right? And then one other thing that I just thought of that just popped into my head. I know I've talked a lot about conversion rates and how industry standard is usually 10 to 20% conversion rates. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was feeling sad, feeling lonely, feeling the feels about, oh, there's only, one person opting in right now. There's another woman who she's kind of interested, but she's going to miss some of the calls, blah, blah, blah. So I was feeling my feels, right? And I went back and I looked at, this was prior to last week, prior to when I stopped, not stopped, prior to when I pushed the start date back. And I looked at how many people I had messaged, and it was only about 15. So it made sense that effectively 1.5 people signed up to be in this mastermind. That's about 10% of the people who I messaged. So immediately that day, I went back and I probably messaged like 20 people who I had done human design readings for. And I told them, hey, I've got this opportunity. I don't know if you or anyone you know is interested. Here's the link. It was this very simple message that I sent out just as a like, hey, putting this on your radar. Well, now I've seen some of those people that I sent messages to, they are commenting on my stuff. So they may not have read my message, but my message popping into their inbox, they clicked on it, they read it. They may not have answered. Now my stuff is starting to show up in their algorithm again. They're starting to like my stuff. I'm seeing that in real time. So if you think this doesn't work, I'm here to tell you, I am living proof that this works, right? And that you too can have all of these things and more. So I'd love for you to join me on Wednesday, April 3rd at 1 p.m. Central. If you want to be on live, make sure you click the link below. Make sure you enter, get on the email list, get on the wait list. It will shortly shift to the regular list, I suppose, the regular list. And then you'll get all the information. Now, during this masterclass on Wednesday, it's 1 hour. We're going to talk all about lead gen by design, and there'll be time for Q&A. There will also be an opportunity for you to enter to win a partial or a full scholarship to the mastermind, to the 8-week mastermind. So I'm giving away 1 full seat and 2 half seats to the mastermind. I'm also giving away a free mini course, the Viral Conversations That Convert. The mini course that I created, there's 5 videos. They're less than 10 minutes each. You can learn all the things in an hour, and that will get you on your way, right? If you like to DIY, the mini course is for you. So make sure you show up because I am giving all the things away. Can't wait. I'm so excited. I love doing giveaways. And it also just helps you be more present, right? It gives you a reason to hop on the Zoom. I'm giving things away. I might even give away like a gift card. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Anyway, I hope this has been informative for you to see a little behind the scenes of how I approached the launch of Lead Gen by Design, the mastermind, and why I shifted the start date. And I just want to let you know, if you are in the midst of a launch and you're like, wow, this is hard, did not expect this, 10 out of 10, do not recommend. Launching doesn't have to feel like that. And I will say, the more you do it, the easier it gets. The easier it gets to replicate what you've done, get rid of the junk that didn't work, amplify the things that did, and just reapproach things in general so that it feels easy, so that it feels simple. I hope you have an amazing day. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please hit me up on Instagram at Maggie Coaching. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, review. Reviews help me so much. And I hope you have the best day ever.